Hey everyone, welcome to another LinkedIn live session with Delenta. We run these sessions to explore the common everyday challenges that coaches faces in running their businesses. I'm Julian Carter from Delenta. Just as a reminder, Delenta is a coaching platform that helps coaching companies streamline their operations and scale efficiently. Today, I'm joined by Mike Gard. Mike is an AI trainer and consultant, and incidentally, he actually used the Delenta platform in his previous life as a coach. So, so I think that's good context. Listen, when running your own business and time's short, and the to-do list never ends, we can really start to feel the pressure as coaches. So depending on your thoughts on AI, and lots of coaches are worried about AI and even will it replace them. It feels like something that is soulless sometimes, or an expansive space to aid your creativity and your imagination flow. Of course, it's your business, so you need to know what to do and how to run it. This conversation is targeted for SME coaches who want to understand how AI can support their business but not replace their humanity. At Delenta, we believe that coaching is a unique human to human interaction. And we believe that AI can help augment that, make them more efficient and make them more money. So whether you're tech curious or tech cautious, you'll leave with real practical notes and ideas and a healthy dose of reassurance. So in this conversation, just to recap with Mike, we're going to give you a simple framework to spot where AI can save you time right now. And Mike's going to introduce his 3R framework. Also, we're going to give you two game-changing tools, which are free, that will help you research and create your own unique client tools. Okay, Mike, I'm going to hand over to you now to introduce yourself and let us know a bit about you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Julian,
Thanks,
and for
Mike.
having me on as well.
Yeah,
And
no
yeah,
problem.
I remember joining Delenta quite some time ago.
Yes.
I think it is when you were very new, as you know, Delenta was new as a platform, so it's an
Okay.
exciting time seeing it evolve. And
Yes.
I've been both a coach on Delenta, as in
Mm.
using it as a coach, and also as a client, for another coach. So yeah, so I've seen it from both sides. Yeah, I mean, I've been in IT for about 30 odd years of my life, but always kind of felt like a square peg in a round hole there, really.
Yeah.
And in 2020, I think with COVID and everything, well, before that,
Yes.
predating that, I actually enrolled on a coaching course with a coaching academy in about 2010,
Okay.
and I wanted to pursue coaching then, but for some reason, I don't know, life got in the way. It wasn't until about 2020 when I took that up again. And graciously, the coaching academy still honored the investment I'd made at the time. And so I qualified with them, I think, yeah, at the end of 2020, about October time. And I just found it hard to get traction initially in the coaching world and finding my niche. I found that really difficult back then. I wish I'd had AI back then, actually, that would have been quite useful.
Yeah.
So, but I'd had a few coaching clients on the go. And then around about beginning of 2023, I'd seen AI had burst on the scene with things like ChatGPT and just really piqued my interest. And I started learning a lot about it, involving myself in it a lot. And first people I reached out to were coaches because I knew that market really well. And also I knew I don't want to generalize too much, but a lot of coaches are technophobic and I wanted to kind of break down those barriers
I
for them.
completely agree with you, Mike. Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I see every day, actually, that coaches are not necessarily technologists.
Yeah.
We try and smooth that journey for them, make it not as fearsome and be more a tech partner at Delenta, but you're absolutely right. Yeah,
Yeah, and again, I wanted to just break down those barriers and make it exciting rather than
yeah,
intimidating for them
correct.
to experiment with AI.
Mm.
And basically, based on that, as only October last year, I finally sort of made the leap full time into AI training and consultation. I've been working with a lot of SMEs since then. But up until that point, I'd been, if you want to call it a side hustle, it'd been a side hustle, but a very busy one in AI. And so yeah, I got a big contract, like I say, October last year, enabled me to make that jump into full-time AI and AI training and consultation. But funnily enough, I have actually had two coaching clients recently as well, which kind of reached out on the back of my AI training, which was kind of strange, but it's good to keep my hand in with the coaching.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So most of your businesses are across different horizontal sectors, yeah? Different verticals, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't again, I haven't niched down to this, but it's such a on fire kind of
Right.
thing right now, AI, that I haven't had to yet. So yeah, I've gone from medical sector like dentists and things like that,
Yeah.
right through to a shopping mall sort of outlet that kind of rents its leases its units out to different tenants, like Nike and all that lot. So I mean, yeah, very broad range of clients. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get stuck into, what you can offer our audience today, Mike. See what you can nuggets you can pass on to them.
Yeah, well, firstly, it's probably good if I just share my screen. Probably
Sure, thank
useful
you.
for me
Yeah.
to do. Brilliant. Okay, I'll just share this. It's called the 3R framework initially. And this is literally to identify tasks as a coach or in any business really, where AI can be useful. And it's very generic, very simple. It's if something's repeatable, as in you have to do it often, then maybe AI could be a good fit for that.
Mm,
So thinking things like it might be creating training or courses, it might be emails to clients, it might be taking notes during a session. I mean, I noticed that, we've got a note taker in this conversation right now, an AI note taker, and I think they're amazing because I think I've had to go into conversations recently without those, and I'm taking notes and
yeah,
I'm noticing I'm
yeah.
not present to the conversation as
You're
much
just
because
not
my
present, are you? Yeah, you're not focused
exactly, yeah.
100%. Yeah, that's what I found. And yes, there's sometimes there can be more note takers than people on the call sometimes.
Yeah, and I think it should always be very transparent
Yeah.
that these things are
Yes,
on there, as in ask for permission, etc. But with
absolutely.
my
Yeah.
yeah, but with my coaching clients and my business clients, you know, I always use them, and it's so powerful because I've got literally everything's captured, so I've not missed anything at the end,
Right.
and I'm fully present to the conversation all the time. So, that's really good in the first place. Things that are really research heavy tasks. I mean, things that would take, I don't know, at least days, possibly weeks, depending on how much time you've got.
Mm,
These can be done with AI now and in a much more simplified way. And it might not be perfect, but well, there's probably a lot better than I could have done. They know where to look, how to look, and if you're using some of the paid tools, they reckon it's almost like PhD level reports, so they can create marketing reports, etc. So again, very good for research. And that could be different. That could be researching client sectors, niches for coaches. It could be looking at other frameworks for coaching, anything like that, or tools for your clients. And then rough first draft, if anything needs a rough first draft, again, this could be like a course, it could be a client proposal, any of those type things. Again, they're all possible. So if it hits any one of these, I think it's, a possibility to use AI for it. So I think it could just be helpful as a little guide, really.
okay, great. So, Mike, in the 3R framework, I mean, in the coaching world, in the world of SME, everyday coaching, what kind of good use cases could you see in that in the coaching world?
Okay, well, like I say, I mean, the first obvious one is an AI note taker. I mean, Zoom
Yeah,
has them built in now as well,
yeah.
AI companion, which does a really good job. So I think that's a basic one. And I mean, I've sent my clients also, like coaching clients, the whole sort of summary of the session at the end,
Okay, yeah.
which is useful for them. It's useful for me. And then the thing I love about them is all the actions they put in as well. So
Yes,
if
that's
you've,
fantastic. Yeah, the
yeah,
action
so
items. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so if you set your client actions, that's listed.
yeah.
If you've got actions yourself, again, that's listed as well. So that's a really useful thing.
We're building an AI note taker that's built into the platform, and our AI note taker will be delivering it around a coaching format, perhaps something like Go,
Hmm.
which is one thing. So, but just so that all the data it consists on the same platform, so it is in a secure environment and
Yeah.
GDPR compliant. But in running our AI ethics webinars, we've heard coaches say that some of their coachees are pushing back, saying they don't want the note takers. Obviously, of course, you can just switch it off. But they
Yeah.
are very concerned about confidentiality and security and where these notes are going to end up.
And that's a fair point. And like I say, it should always be very transparent and should always ask for permission for these
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, I mean, with things like where these things end up, it's usually on US servers somewhere, but most of them do have very secure encryption, etc. But I think it's every right for a client to ask to have that switched off if they want.
Yeah.
And for you, if you turn up to a meeting or you're hosting a meeting and people are jumping on with AI note takers, I think you're well within your rights to tell them to remove them or eject them from the meeting as well if they
Uh,
haven't asked for permission.
Correct. Yeah, correct. I
Yeah.
mean, don't be shy. Do ask. Do tell people if you're not comfortable with them being there.
Mm,
It's only
absolutely.
there. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Delenta as well. Just let people know is that all our data is hosted in Amazon Web Services UK, so it's completely secure as well. So yeah, this is so when you're rolling out an AI, what do you think most coaches have a misconception about AI? What's the most common misconception that you have heard from the market?
Okay, well, one of them is, I think from day dot is people thinks it only helps big teams be more effective.
Hmm.
But, it can really be effective at just automating that one repetitive task that you hate. So I think like if you're looking for, leads, for instance, as in new leads, clients, etc.,
Hmm.
there's ways you can automate that with AI, as in do research with that, which can be really effective. I think I'd say, yeah, that's one of the biggest misconceptions. But I think also that AI can't help them, and I know you've also got the AI is soulless, but then I think it's how much investment you put into it is what you get out of it.
Hmm.
Because I've got clients who are coaches who it helps them write their emails or their blog posts, and it sounds exactly like them. In fact, some of them say that sounds better than me. But that's a better version of me. So, I think these things are available as long as we put the effort in and
Yeah,
investment in the first place and
that's
prompt them correctly.
that's right, Matt. I think we're developing like a bit of technology as well, whereby the AI will learn based on your data set in the platform
Yeah,
Delenta, and then
absolutely
it'll
that.
learn
Yeah.
your style and everything else, but it doesn't replace you. It just tries to reinforce learnings
Yes,
from coaching because coaching can be quite intense, and then you go back to your day job and you kind of slowly forget about these things. So it's about reinforcement rather than
absolutely.
replacement. That's how we view it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think AI could be really useful for coaching clients between sessions,
Mm.
as in, little reminders for them, actions that they need to take, etc. Like there's a thing in ChatGPT called, for instance, called custom GPTs, which are
Yeah.
little almost like AI apps that you can create, and they can be based on your coaching style. It could be literally, if the client was open to it, you could have uploaded. I've got a client that's been open to it. You could upload transcripts from your sessions, and then it's like they're talking to you. So they've got you almost 24/7.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Based on the coaching that's already taken place.
Yes, you
Um,
can interrogate it, right? Interrogate the
yeah,
knowledge.
absolutely,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
right. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
you said. Yeah, and that's helpful for probably sentiment analysis as well. So,
absolutely. Yeah,
we're doing a similar thing at Delenta as well, where you can interrogate the data for sentiment analysis and display it graphically. So
yeah,
it's that you might miss as a coach, it surfaces them, and you think, oh, I must do better in that area or whatever other area that you're not conscious of. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So could
so
I
so
maybe
let's
share? Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
go,
let's jump
Julian.
into some tool. I'm mindful of time. Let's jump
Yeah,
into some real takeaway tools that you can help with.
okay. I think it's a tool that's really useful. So I'll just share my screen again. A tool that's really useful, I'd say, is one called Perplexity that coaches may or may not have come across. I'm finding more people have heard of these things these days, but it's a great research tool. It has a free plan that you don't have to pay for at all, but you can go on here and find out bring up people's LinkedIn profiles and analyze those. It will I don't know. Let's have a look at even if you're out there yourself in the public domain a bit, and you've got things on Facebook, LinkedIn, or you've put in blog articles, etc. I mean, I could ask it to do a SWOT analysis on myself, for instance. Can you do a SWOT analysis on Mike Guard? And I'll just give it context. There's a few Mike Guards. The most famous Mike Guard seems to be one in Ireland who's a cult, someone in the religious field
Ah,
who sort of deals with cults and writes about them. So,
okay.
so I've got to give it. And I'm still called MG Performance Coaching because I've not changed my name, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. So yeah, SWOT analysis. So here, I mean, straight away, so you can see it's got my LinkedIn profile here, things like Instagram, and it's got various sources. So we can have a look at all the sources it's gone to get all this different information. And like I say here, so we can get an analysis even on ourselves, but this could be potentially on competitors. It could be on clients. It doesn't have to be a SWOT analysis. You can just do research on clients or potential clients and see how, how you can potentially get into their market or what their pain points would be. But I find this really, really useful. And I demonstrate this to SMEs because obviously they're usually interested in opportunities for themselves and also what their competition is doing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's all about preparedness these days with
yeah,
sales prospecting and talking to clients. A lot of people do their research beforehand, even using tools like this as well. So yeah, if you can research the company very effectively like this and understand perhaps their pain points or how big their business is or how fast they're growing or are they profitable or whatever, it's a real one-stop shop here to do it.
especially if you're doing business clients. I mean, I do
Business
this
clients. Yeah, I'm talking business
yeah,
clients. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, before I do a session with an SME, usually I'll do some research using something like Perplexity.
Right.
And if you see all these little numbers, they're just links to the actual sources of information.
Hmm.
So again, there's something in AI called hallucinations where
Mm,
sometimes it can give you incorrect information.
mm,
And these just help mitigate against that because it's citing all the sources where it got the information from. So again, it does that by default. So very useful. ChatGPT can also do this.
yeah.
I just say put web search on if you do it in ChatGPT. But I think Perplexity is very good at doing these quick research type things.
Mm,
So that's one good tool. Another good tool I'd say is one called Claude,
hmm.
which is very similar to ChatGPT. It pretty much looks the same. In fact, if I just start a chat here, so I'm on the free plan for this, and I just want to show you what I've been able to create just from the free plan. So if I go in here, so I've just literally put in the shortest prompts, the demand we put into the AI. So I've just created an online tool that's attractive, interactive, and allows clients of a coach to create their own wheel of life that they can download to PDF. Now that bit doesn't work on this, but that's fine. Start with an overview explanation and then guide the user through the process one question at a time until the end when you present a colorful view of their personal wheel of life.
Mm.
Now, to me, those few lines and what it produces are amazing. I've not given any questions or anything to ask. I've just let it make its own mind. So here it started to tell me about the features here, the 8 wheel of life areas it's going to include, and the user experience. And I have to ask it to change things a little bit, make it in British English because it wasn't usually in American these things. And if I actually go to that tool, and the nice thing with Claude, you can publish these. So if I go into the version here, it gives me an option to publish so everyone can see it.
Mm.
And if I go into the actual pane where this is displayed now, so it gives me a breakdown of what Wheel of Life is. So I enter my name. The scores I'm going to put in aren't my actual scores. I'm just doing them randomly just to, so people don't think I'm depressed or anything. But I mean, this is just from those few lines. I've literally
Amazing.
got
Yeah.
an amazing tool here that I could give to a client and let them sort of do their own wheel of life before I even meet them, and ask
Wow.
them to take a screenshot of it,
Mm.
and then I can assess, and then based on that, it's given me, like I say, to me, this is an amazing tool. It took minutes to create, and it enables me and empowers me as a coach to be able to deliver more and do more. I think these things are literally only limited by your imagination.
It's amazing, isn't it? How quickly that it did that. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's because it's not going to a database or anything like that.
Mm.
But it's, like I say, very powerful. And it's a way that as a coach, you can use your imagination, create tools for your clients that they can use.
Mm.
It maybe could be around your coaching style or about the grow model or,
Yeah.
anything else you bring into it. So again, I think it's, yeah. really powerful tool.
And often with these, I don't, with the, you've got a free plan there. I pay for Chat GPT, I think $20
I,
a month or
I
something.
do as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think with that it has a memory, so it remembers about you what you've asked it before. It remembers your preferences. For instance, you want UK English versus American English, and so on. So the more you integrate with it, more memory it builds up about you and your how you ask your questions, etc. So yeah,
And
sometimes it's worth paying for these platforms because they're not particularly expensive, but very powerful for what they do.
absolutely love that feature. Like, so I feel like it is a true companion because of that memory feature, and it's one of the only AIs that does that really effectively, I think, right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're differentiating themselves. ChatGPT, they're making it almost like a personal or a business companion. I mean, I'm happy to share something I do in ChatGPT that again may be useful for coaches. I wasn't going to
Yes,
do this, but it may be useful.
we've got several
Um,
minutes left, so let's have a
yeah,
look.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Let me share again then. Okay, so if I just open a new chat window here. So this is on the paid version. So just to make that clear to anyone who
Yeah.
is watching, what
Okay.
you can do, we have something called projects in here, and I've got one set up called My Business, and it means I can upload any amount of files in here, and every chat within this project will reference those files. So it'll look through those files every time. And I can give it some really good instructions here, which is a big prompt effectively. And I've just asked it to be almost like a board of directors for me. So
Hmm.
I've asked it to be 5 leading public figures who I've chosen. Now, this could be coaching mentors, for instance, if you wanted it to be. So I've got for my board, I've got Steve Jobs, Stephen Bartlett, Alex Hormozi, Anthony Robbins coaching there, Daniel Priestley,
Oh,
and then I asked them to have a discussion between them and critique my ideas. Don't make any, always ask clarifying questions. This is really important. You could put on the bottom of any prompt that you do. Always ask clarifying questions and make no assumptions about myself or my business or coaching or whatever it is.
yeah.
And then it tends to ask you questions, and the answers you'll get back will be much more laser focused
Yeah.
rather than just generic.
Mm.
And then I give it a few steps to go through
Mm.
and just some of the responses here.
And
Let
obviously,
me find one.
there's also
Sorry, yeah.
a craft in prompting well, isn't there?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And that comes with practice. I mean, I
Mm.
have got an actual framework. That one's not.
And
I've got an actual framework that I use. Sorry,
you're using different models there, Chat GPT 03, 04, and so on.
I find this one, the O3, which does thinking. I think that
Mm.
one's really good for this type of prompt
Yeah.
where it's actually thinking and doing things for me. But for instance, here I get my panel discussion. So Steve Jobs, it tells me his point of view, Stephen Bartlett's his point of view. So I actually see the discussion going on. And then
Yeah.
Bartlett worries focus on course might call that basically, does Jobs count as so there's a bit of a discussion and pushback between them and things. So it's really useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from that I get some
It's
kind of very
amazing. Yeah.
detailed metrics and things. So
Yeah.
yeah, really
Especially
powerful.
Steve Jobs no longer with us. It's amazing.
Well, this is the beautiful thing. I mean, again, we can use mentor. We can use it to. I mean, that's one of the things I love about AI is where you can get it to act as a role. So it could be a marketing genius or a sales coach, but it could be a coach that's long gone that you really admired, and you could ask, or who's still here, you could ask them to be your mentor effectively,
Well,
and
that
it'll
is
embody that
fascinating.
personality. Yeah, yeah.
It is fascinating because there are some very well-known coaches. I'm sure if you could have that as a mentor, as your model, and you can interrogate that, that would be quite exciting, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. And you might have a difficult coaching question or a difficult client, and you're not quite sure how to broach something.
Yeah.
And well, yeah, you could ask that mentor, or B, you can use that role as a role play as well. So you can have a back and forth conversation. Ask the AI to embody this client persona
Mm,
and say, I've got this problem with this client. Could you have this discussion with me? I'm the coach, you're the client, and help me, critique my session and see what happens.
fascinating. So
Yeah.
we're going to wrap up, Mike, but in your mind, what do you think the next frontier is for AI in coaching next year or 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think, God, there's going to be so
Involved.
many tools. You've alluded to yourself, you're bringing a lot of AI powered
Yeah,
tools to the coach. So I think hopefully coaches will be able to focus more on their coaching than marketing, sales, and all the time consuming admin tasks. It sounds like you're taking care of a lot of those, which is fantastic.
yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think it's whether coaches want to hear this or not. I think there will be, and it's already here, AI coaches, but I think it possibly could widen the market for coaching in general.
I think you're right. I think it could seed the market, so bring more people at greater scale into the world of coaching,
Hmm,
cost effectively.
absolutely.
And then they decide they want to go into, have human to human coaching. So it could actually generate more business than actually take it away.
I think that's possible.
Yeah,
I mean, if I'm going to be playing devil's advocate here as well, it's also possible that really mediocre coaches could fall by the wayside. I think it's important to, invest in yourself as in time and education and, differentiate yourself as much as you can, build your personal brand because that's what's important with these things. Because I mean, I talk to ChatGPT on my phone and it
yeah.
even sounds like it's empathetic. It's crazily good,
Yes, it is good.
already.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's not a coaching app. I mean, there are coaching apps out there as well that are focused on doing that. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I know my son walks around the house with headphones, talking to ChatGPT all the time, having conversations with it. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very powerful. And I think everything is going to go. And I've found him, I've experimented with like AI avatars, the video avatars and things.
Oh, like Synthesia and things like that, is it?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the one I've used was called Hey Gem, but they're all similar.
I saw
Basically,
them. Mm.
I've recorded myself and
Okay.
video, etc.
Yeah.
And I can literally just type in a script then, or copy and paste a script in, and it will do the work for me. And I've used that a few times on things like TikTok videos and things, and
Okay.
sometimes it's got more views than my
And
normal
you.
my normal ones. So, so I'm
Amazing.
thinking these tools will come into the fore a lot more
Yeah.
as time goes on. Yeah,
Yeah. But it's such a massive subject, Mike, and we don't really have
it is. Yeah,
time today to
yeah.
explore it all by any means. But any more insights before we wrap up the session?
I just say, look, if I find virtually everyone I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of cynical people about AI, and a lot of them have been coaches, when they've seen what it can do for them and how powerful it can be, most of them have been raving converts after. You know,
Yeah.
it only has to do what you want it to do. You don't have to, go to the nth degree and push it further than you want. But if it can help you deliver more in less time, as in you get to focus on coaching more than all the admin and the more mundane stuff, then to me that's a massive win. Your clients get a better, value from you, and you get to do the thing you love more than ever.
So do you think it's a case of adapt or die?
I hate to say it, but I think, yeah, I mean, this is here to stay, and it's
It's not
only
going away.
getting
Yeah.
more powerful, as
Absolutely.
time
Yeah.
goes on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it might be.
That's the
Yeah,
message. Yeah.
yeah,
Great. Mike, thank you for joining us again. And thanks for everyone joining
pleasure.
today. Watch out for the next episode, of which we'll explore other things that we can help coaching companies overcome their everyday challenges. Over and out, everyone. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All the best.